And this leads me back to what I started this journal entry with, is that I had a concern that with the last entry about the totem, which I feel it should be listened to. It was the past couple days, maybe the last one I did. The idea that because this idea of the totem and having a totem and creating my own totem in my life, maybe I saw, because I was having such an intense experience with it, I saw everything as a totem. That was the argument that I know some people could say, oh, you're turning everything into what you're studying right now. So because you're studying it right now, everything takes the form of your studies. However, I think I made it pretty clear that I'm not doing that. I'm retaining my detachment. I'm understanding this is going on, and I'm staying conscious, but I'm also having these symbols bubble up at the same time. One of the symbols was the active imagination about the frustration around this car. And then the conversation I had the night before with my friend Mike, where the term ambivalence came up to try to explain what I was telling him about the totem idea. And ultimately this all comes to a wholeness, a unity within myself, of bringing balance back to imbalanced behavior. And what's happening all through this as well, which is an interesting thing, is that I asked my friend Bob for help with my workers' comp. And he referred me to his son, and he said, my son will look something up on I'll have my son look something up on the internet. The guy's smart enough, been around enough, has the full conscious comprehension that his title that he has, who he is, carries enough weight, depth, and power that it could affect wrongly the outcome of my workers' comp case. So he doesn't want to get too involved in this. But that's my whole point, is that this is the kind of thing that I need in my case, because they have so lost themselves in their own roles that they need somebody who's so role-oriented to ground them and root them back into the key ideas of why they do what they do. Why is the insurance company's attorney an insurance company's attorney? Not for profit, but to bring stability to society. Why is the workers' comp judge a judge? Not to be a judge, but to do the right thing. And they can get all caught up in the ledger world tally sheet mentality of just doing their jobs and making it legal, quote unquote legal, what they're doing. And I understand the importance of all this stuff, but this is what I've been trying to tell people. Listen, it's our spirit that informs the systems, and we've got to bring the spirit to it. But if we're consumed by our own symbols, if we're dealing with an imbalance within ourselves and turned our lives into our totem, and we don't have this modicum, this medium state of detachment from them, then these totems, these roles we play, end up uninformed. The key is consciously informing the world of our human spirit. And I think this is what's really at the key of a lot of problems in the world. And I don't profess to be solving the problems of the world. What I'm doing is dealing with my life. This is my life. This is how I deal with it. And I have a very holistic view, and my perspective happens to be one just outside. Here are the boundaries of the viewer here. They're just outside, just outside. A little bit. I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. But I'm just outside with my perspective. And this expansion, I think, is really crucial because I feel that it addresses a very important lesson that's needed to be integrated and understood consciously for further growth to continue. I really feel that my life is a reflection of the problems that are going on at this time, and I can see the interrelatedness, and I'm not so frog in the well effect where I can only see my problems. I can see outside, and I'm integrating all this stuff together, and I can tend to overwhelm people by this integrating aspect of my view where I can keep it all together. I can go outside the known boundaries and integrate what I can. I am given a greater view. It's so normal, but at the same time, in my life, I run up to such blockages. So ultimately, I'm integrating aspects of my father which have created ambivalent feelings within me, which ultimately, I am my father's son, so I am also experiencing the same thing he experienced.